In 1942, Boston harbored a nightclub that would soon become the site of unimaginable tragedy. The Coconut Grove nightclub was packed with hundreds of guests, celebrating and dancing the night away. That evening, the management decided to use flammable foam decorations to simulate a magical winter snowfall. A single spark caught the foam. Within seconds, fire erupted and spread with terrifying speed. Panic swept through the crowd instantly. People rushed desperately toward every exit they could find, but the doors opened inward. Hundreds were crushed, trapped behind doors they could not push open. Within minutes, 492 lives were lost. One of America's deadliest single-building fire disasters ever recorded. Survivors described horrifying scenes, bodies stacked near exits, smoke blackening everything within reach. Investigators and lawmakers were horrified. How could a single night of entertainment end so catastrophically? The tragedy forced governments worldwide to completely rethink how public buildings handle emergency evacuations. New laws mandated outward opening exit doors, clear emergency lighting, and strict fire safety regulations globally. One devastating fire rewrote the rules of safety forever, protecting millions of lives that followed. On December 6, 1917, the harbour city of Halifax, Canada, faced unimaginable destruction in mere seconds. Two massive ships were moving through the narrow Halifax harbour on an ordinary winter morning. One ship, the Mont Blanc, carried over 2,100 tons of deadly explosive materials on board. The other vessel, the Immo, was moving too fast through the congested narrow channel. The two ships collided violently, igniting a catastrophic fire aboard the Mont Blanc instantly. Crowds gathered along the shoreline, completely unaware of the devastating danger approaching them. Then the Mont Blanc exploded with a force equivalent to roughly 3 kilotons of TNT. The blast instantly flattened entire neighborhoods, shattering windows miles away from the explosion. A massive tsunami wave surged through the harbor, flooding everything along the shoreline. Nearly 2,000 people perished, and 9,000 more were seriously injured that day. The Halifax explosion remained the largest man-made explosion before the nuclear age arrived. Halifax rebuilt itself, but the scars of that terrible morning were never truly forgotten.
A massive wave rushed through the city. Not water, molasses. In 1919, a giant tank exploded in Boston. Over 2 million gallons were released. A thick wave surged through the streets. It moved slowly, but with incredible force. Buildings collapsed. People couldn't escape. It sounds unreal, but it happened. A ship was found, drifting alone. No crew, no distress signal, no signs of struggle. Everything was still there. Food on the table. Cargo untouched. The ship was perfectly intact, but the people were gone. No one knows what happened. No clues, no answers, just an empty ship, lost at sea.
In the Victorian era, death was not hidden. It was honored in the most haunting way imaginable. Families would gather their deceased loved ones for one final photograph, a tradition known as post-mortem photography. Cameras were rare and expensive, making photographs precious, once-in-a-lifetime treasures for ordinary families. For many, the deceased's photograph was the only image ever taken of that person. Photographers would pose the deceased to appear peaceful, sometimes propped upright or held by family members. Children were the most common subjects, as childhood mortality rates were devastatingly high during this period. Photographers used clever tricks, hidden stands and supports to make subjects appear naturally lifelike. Families dressed their loved ones in finest clothing, surrounding them with flowers and cherished belonging. These photographs became deeply sacred keepsakes, displayed proudly in family albums and on mantelpieces. Grief was openly expressed and mourning rituals helped families process unbearable loss together. Today, these haunting images offer historians a rare and intimate window into Victorian life and loss. What once seemed morbid was simply love, preserved forever through the lens of grief. In 1973, deep beneath the ocean's surface, a catastrophic event unfolded that would test the limits of human endurance. A deep-sea submarine called Pisces III suddenly lost control and plummeted toward the ocean floor. Nearly 1,600 feet below the surface, the vessel slammed into the seabed with two men trapped inside. Roger Chapman and Roger Mallinson faced every diver's worst nightmare: complete entrapment in crushing darkness. Their oxygen supply was dangerously limited, slowly ticking away with every breath they took. On the surface, a desperate international rescue operation was immediately launched against impossible odds. Engineers scrambled to improvise specialized tools never originally designed for such a rescue mission. Hour after hour passed as the rescue team battled relentless technical failures and brutal ocean conditions. 76 grueling hours passed as the trapped men conserved every precious breath of remaining air. Finally, rescue cables successfully latched onto the stricken submarine after numerous agonizing failed attempts. The submarine was slowly hauled upward through the crushing darkness toward life-saving sunlight above. With only minutes of oxygen remaining, both men emerged alive, a miracle born from human determination. In 1814, London was a city of industry, ambition, and hidden dangers lurking beneath its cobblestone streets. At the heart of this bustling city stood the Moo and Company Brewery, a towering giant of wood and iron. Inside, enormous wooden vats held thousands of gallons of fermenting beer, stacked high and creaking under pressure. Then, without warning, one massive vat suddenly ruptured, sending a violent shockwave through the entire building. A towering wave of dark beer, over 100,000 gallons, crashed through the brewery walls like a liquid avalanche. The flood roared into the narrow streets of St. Giles, a densely packed and poverty-stricken neighborhood. Homes were demolished, walls collapsed, and terrified residents were swept away by the unstoppable torrent. 8 people tragically lost their lives, many drowning in the very liquid that filled the city's taverns daily. Survivors climbed rooftops, desperately watching the dark flood consume everything they had ever owned. Ironically, some locals reportedly scooped the beer from the streets, unwilling to let the disaster go to waste. The brewery faced legal proceedings, but was ultimately cleared. The disaster ruled an act of God. This bizarre catastrophe remains one of history's strangest disasters, forever remembered as the London beer flood. Have you ever wondered what happens when the sleeping mind takes control of the body? Sleepwalking is far more mysterious than most people realize, pushing beyond simple wandering. Rare documented cases reveal people performing incredibly complex actions while completely unconscious. Some sleepwalkers have been found cooking full meals in their kitchens without waking. Others have driven cars for miles along dark roads, completely unaware of their journey. There are even cases of people painting detailed artwork during deep sleep episodes. Scientists believe the brain partially awakens, activating motor functions while consciousness stays dormant. The sleepwalker's eyes may be open, appearing awake, yet their mind remains deeply asleep. Some individuals have even composed music and written songs during these unconscious episodes. Upon waking, these individuals remember absolutely nothing about their nighttime activities. Sleep disorders like this remind us how little we truly understand about our own minds. The sleeping mind holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover and understand. Deep beneath our world, something stirs. A sound no one can explain, felt more than heard. People across the globe report a mysterious low-frequency hum vibrating through walls, floors, and bones. It is not thunder, it is not traffic. Scientists are completely baffled by its origin. Some hear it only at night, a relentless drone that steals sleep and sanity. Entire communities have reported the hum simultaneously, ruling out individual imagination or medical conditions. Sensitive recording equipment struggles to capture it, yet human ears detect it unmistakably. Some theorize it originates deep underground, from shifting tectonic plates or hidden geological activity. Others believe industrial machinery buried far below creates these invisible, haunting vibrations. Military experiments have also been suspected, with secretive operations hidden from public knowledge. Even ocean movements and atmospheric pressure changes have been proposed as possible explanations. Yet no single theory has satisfied researchers, leaving the hum one of Earth's greatest unsolved mysteries. The hum continues. Somewhere out there, the answer waits in silence, just beyond our reach. Thousands of people across the world stopped in their tracks, eyes fixed on the sky above them. Something extraordinary was happening with the sun, something nobody had ever witnessed before. Reports flooded in from every continent, describing a solar phenomenon unlike anything recorded in history. The sun appeared to pulse, radiating waves of multicolored light that rippled outward like cosmic ripples. Scientists scrambled to their observatories, instruments recording data never seen in modern astronomy. Social media erupted as millions shared videos and photographs of the breathtaking spectacle overhead. Ancient civilizations had described similar events in cave paintings and stone carvings centuries ago. Could this be a rare alignment of solar plasma, or something far more mysterious and unexplained? Pilots flying overhead reported their instruments behaving erratically as the phenomenon intensified dramatically. Religious communities gathered in open squares, believing the event carried profound spiritual significance. As suddenly as it began, the phenomenon faded, leaving the world in stunned, breathless silence. The sky returned to normal, but humanity would never look at the sun the same way again.